I know there's going to be a ton of people that disagree with this for sure online. Everybody has their opinion, but I think I have found the lens that makes the S9 make sense, at least for me, and maybe others too. So I wanted to share it. You've probably heard of it at this point. It's been out for other cameras, but it is now on the L mount and it has been for a couple weeks. I think it's back ordered, but that lens is this little guy right here. This is the TTArtisan 40mm f2. And I'm telling you, if you're the type of person that puts real-time LUTs on your camera and you're making in grain and you're only shooting in JPEG, you shoot RAW, whatever. But you get what I mean. If you're the person that doesn't mind some character in your images, this is for you. And it'll work great on all your other L mount systems, but on the S9 particularly, being so small, whenever you have something like the 24 or, I don't know, whatever. You're 24, you're 50, those guys they're pretty compact for what they are, but on the S9, it's a little bit big. So something like this, that small, really makes sense. And the images that I get out of it are fantastic. You have to know that it's gonna flare like crazy when light hits it. You'll get vignetting that doesn't make sense. Sometimes it's stronger than other times, but for the right person, it's awesome. It's really what has compelled me to keep my S9. To give you a little bit of a backstory, I came across an S9 on Facebook Marketplace and started researching it, and I saw the lenses are $500, $600, $700, sometimes even more than that. Didn't really make sense for me as just a dad that likes to document his family running around, capture moments, to spend that much and then to have a small camera and like the only thing I can get is something this size. It's not really all that discreet, and it's kind of a pain in the butt when you got a diaper bag and you got a stroller and you got this big thing dangling on you. The smaller you can get a camera, the better. So in the past I had Sony, like I had a ZV-E10 as APS-C camera. I've had the A5100. I've got Micro Four Thirds systems. But I've also had full frame cameras. I've had A7C, A7C II. I've been really chasing something that was like the perfect package. For photo, I had all sorts of stuff, right? All of those cameras were great at photo, but for video is where it got tough. The Sony cameras, I was always having to add stabilization in post. Even with the dynamic active stabilization on the A7C II, it was okay at times, but not necessarily buttery smooth. And I saw all this Lumix content out there where it's almost gimbal-like. But I just couldn't make it make sense. Like, those lenses are just so expensive and huge. So, like I said, when this thing came around, and it's this small, and that affordable, now all of a sudden, for me, personally, the S9 makes sense. So, if you're, similar to me, and I love that, it's like a little fidget for me, just spinning that aperture ring. If you're like me, and you're just doing this as a hobby, you might even appreciate it if you do it more than that. But for me personally, as just a normal dad trying to capture stuff, this is an awesome setup. I got the stable video, I can take photos. I do live in Florida, so I was really apprehensive about not having an EVF. Like, I got accustomed to having an EVF on my A7C and A7C II that I sold off. I even have a Fuji camera back there. I like to collect these cameras and test them out. Really, I was trying to find the perfect dad cam. Turns out it doesn't exist, and now I gotta eventually purge some things. But right now, what I'm settling on is this S9 with this particular lens. It's a sweet spot for me right now. I'm rambling for sure. But yeah, I just had to share how awesome it is. And if you can find it, I think it's back ordered right now on TTArtisan's website. But if you manage to snag one, let me know what you think about it. If you want to see some of the other gear that I have or any samples, I posted some of the samples on Reddit. I don't know if I posted any pictures on Instagram, tossing around these lenses. But if you want to see any of my other lenses, my collection, or how I try to find things for budget online, let me know. I can definitely do that. Like, I got a bunch of these L-mount lenses that I've since picked up. This is the 75-2. This is the 40 f2. I found them all budget. nearby Facebook Marketplace. I would never have bought any of these lenses at full price. So yeah, find this lens, pick it up, let me know what you think about it. All right.